Hey everybody, it's Jen Bowie. I'm the Driven Woman's Coach to Wholeness. Today I just want to talk to you guys briefly, hopefully briefly, about EFT, which is also called the Emotional Freedom Technique and sometimes referred to as tapping. I just want to give you a basic introduction in a short time about why EFT works and how it works and how to make it work for you. So what we know about EFT is we know that it substantially reduces the amount of cortisol in your body and in your brain. And cortisol is that hormone that's released when you're under any stress. When your brain perceives you're under any stress, cortisol is released. And cortisol does some pretty toxic things to your body. It increases belly fat, it decreases short-term memory, it decreases metabolism, it increases your acid reflux. So it's not necessarily a helpful hormone, but it's an important hormone because it helps you to identify that there's stress happening. You can literally use EFT for anything across the board. I've seen and known it to be used for body acceptance, weight loss, decrease of depression, decrease of anxiety, PTSD symptoms, sexual arousal issues, driving anxiety, test-taking memory skills, financial issues, whatever. EFT really covers the whole gamut. And what I like about this is a tool I teach to many of my clients because then they're in the owner's seat, they're in the driver's seat, right? And then it's all up to them to use that skill throughout the week or throughout the 2 weeks whenever we meet again. So I've done a lot of research on EFT and I hold a certification in the Emotional Freedom Technique. But what I want you to know is it doesn't really matter where you tap, and it also doesn't really matter what you say. The wording and the tapping, it's really based on intention. So knowing that, I want to walk you through where you would tap if you're going to do some EFT. So we typically start out with an even though statement. And so what the even though statement does is it acknowledges the painful, negative, stressful experience you're having, and it opens the door for a positive experience. So I'm recording this in December. Many people are finding financial stress. Let's say we're experiencing some money stress. You could say, even though I am worried about money, I'm willing to invite more money in. Or the traditional and typical response to that is, even though I'm worried about money, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I like to tweak it a little bit. Again, the wording doesn't really matter. So if it's in fact that you're worried about money, let's tie it back to you loving yourself and being worthy. So what we would do is, this is called the karate chop point, and you would take 2 or 3 fingers, I like to take 3, and you would just tap there while you're just repeating the clearing statement, which is, even though I'm worried about money, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Or if this one works better for you, even though I'm worried about money, I'm willing to continue to invite money in. Whichever, again, the wording doesn't matter. There's 2 ways to do this. Many of my clients prefer to tap that same phrase throughout all the tapping points, but other people like to change it up a little bit. So let's say it's December and you're worried about family interactions and that stress and that pressure and that tension. Let's just say stress and pressure and tension. So if we were going to do the same phrase, the whole tapping points out, what it would look like is this. Even though I'm experiencing an increase in stress and tension, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then you go to the top of the eyebrow, right where your eyebrow hair starts, and you tap there and you say the same thing. Then you tap here, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Then just underneath the collarbone, same thing. Then underneath that arm, right on that bra strap, same thing. Top of head, same thing. That works for so many people. But some people feel like they need to liven it up a little bit, and they want a different phrase everywhere that they tap, and that's perfectly okay too. I've done enough research in this that I know that there's not one preferred way, and one way is not more successful than the other way. So if you got stuck along the way, just go back to the clearing statement. It's fine, no big. But if you want to change it up a little bit, let's pick the stress and tension. Even though I'm feeling an increase in stress and tension, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then through the rest of the tapping points is where you start to validate your experiences. I've done so many things to try to decrease the stress and tension, and it's not working. What if I'm made to just be this stressed and this tense for the rest of my life? Then it's right on the bone underneath the eye. That doesn't make sense, but I mean, I've literally tried everything else. The next 2 points that we're going to tap on, I need you to know that these are the shame points. So if you feel any shame around the issue, you're going to want to spend some extra time tapping right underneath the nose and then right on the tip of the chin. So I feel bad that I can't handle my stress. I feel like I should handle my stress better. What if it's just a personal weakness or failing? What if I'm the only person that's absolutely this stressed? Then you're going to go just right underneath the collarbone. I don't think that can be true, but it feels like it might be true. What if it is true? What if I'm just not cut out to handle a lot of stress? Again, you're going to go on that band, right on top of the bra, underneath your arm, in that really awkward position. I wonder if there's a different way to handle stress. And then you're just going to tap on the top of the head. You know what? I'm gonna be open to experiencing stress differently, to processing stress differently. Then what I really want you to do is take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just do that a couple of times and then let that stuff that you've cleared dissipate. What we know is that we have a cellular memory that holds on to things such as trauma and depression and anxiety and stress. And so no matter how much we clear our mind, if it's still held in our cells, we need to release that as well. So here's the thing that I do a little bit differently that a lot of people don't do, and that's okay that they don't do that. As soon as I'm done with that thought process, I then want to replace that with a positive. And sometimes it's a positive opposite. So what we're going to do is we started off tapping this way. I want to flip where you tap. So this time I'm going to say, I'm so excited to invite more joy and peace into my life. I can't even begin to imagine how differently being this peaceful is going to feel in my life. I wonder if I'll get bored because I am so peaceful and so happy. Is that possible to get bored? Maybe not. I'm glad that I see my worthiness. I'm grateful that I recognize that I don't have to hold on to that stress anymore. That stress and tension wasn't serving me. It's not mine. And I'm going to replace it with joy and peace and freedom. How much freer is my life now that I don't have to carry that stress and tension as a form of worthiness and self-worth around with me? I can feel my body loosening and letting go of the stress and tension it's carried. I'm so excited to move forward with my life with peace and joy and freedom and happiness. And now take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. So that's the basic premise of it, right? You can use the same phrase over and over. It doesn't really matter. Again, it's not about the wording. It's about the tapping. I've literally laid in bed and tapped at night. Things like, even though I can't fall asleep and stay asleep all night, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. It worked. It didn't even matter where I tapped. So don't get caught up on the tapping points. But just to review, you want to start with a clearing statement, tapping on the karate chop. Then you're going to tap right here where the eyebrow hair starts, then on the side of the eye, then underneath the eye, underneath the nose, on the chin, right underneath the collarbone, underneath the arm on like that bra strap part, and then the top of the head. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm a huge proponent of the power of EFT. I think I've seen it create substantial changes in people's lives. So the way I do it is I tap one side for negative stuff, and then I go back and I tap the other side for the positive stuff. Affirming the positive is super important to me and to the clients I work with. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if I can do anything else to be of service. Thanks. Bye-bye.